Good morning, children. How are you? Now, here again, we are ready to learn some more things about Newton's laws of motion. In our last module, we have seen Newton's first law of motion, Newton's second law of motion. Rate of change of linear momentum is directly proportional to the applied force. And then we have seen force is equal to mass into acceleration. Is that clear? Now today we are going to see another part. Newton's third law of motion we are going to see. Before that we are going to see some applications of the concept of impulse. Applications on concept of impulse. We have seen what is impulse earlier. Now today we are going to see the concept of impulse. What is that? An example here is a cricket player lowers his hand while catching. A cricketer while catching like this, he took his hand back. Why? What is the reason behind that? This we can explain with the help of impulse. That is, we know very well a cricket player, write down here, a cricket player lowers his hand while catching. What is that? As you may have noticed, the player draws in his hand backward in the act of catching the ball. Thus he allows a longer time for his hand to stop the ball like this. It takes a longer time, little bit. How it is? We know very well. Impulse is, what is impulse? That is force into time. Impulse is equal to force into time. That is change in the linear momentum. That is change in the linear momentum. Change in the linear momentum. Or I can say force is equal to change in momentum divided by time. That we know. Therefore, by increasing the time when lowers his hand, time increases, force decreases. Time increases, force decreases. This is very much clear. So by increasing the time of a catch, the player has to apply a smaller force against the ball in order to stop. So the ball in turn exerts a smaller force on his hand. That is why the cricketer player lowers his hand while catching. Is that clear? Now you can see also one more example regarding this. That is, when a person falls from a certain height on a cemented floor, what happened? One more example I am taking here. What is that? When a person falls from a certain height on a cemented floor, what happened? He will injured. Cemented floor. The floor does not yield the total change of linear momentum is produced in a smaller interval of time. So, and explained above, just we have the floor exert a much larger force. Floor much exert a larger force, because we know that force is equal to change in momentum divided by time. So when he falls on a cemented floor, he will injure, even I can say. On the other hand, when the person falls on a heap of sand, then sand yields. In this case, cemented floor, it does not yield. It yields. So the same change of momentum is produced in much longer time. Same change of momentum is produced in a longer time. So it will not injure. So the average force exerted on the person by the heap of sand is therefore much smaller, or I can say the person is not hurt. Is it clear? The lot of example you may see in our daily life. Is that clear? So write down, dear children. Now come to the next article, that is Newton's third law of motion. Here I can say Newton's third law of motion. Now dear children, I can say here Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion. What is that? We have seen first law of motion, second law of motion, first law of motion. What is first law of motion? First law of motion, sir, defines force. First law of motion defines force. What is second law of motion? Second law of motion established a relation in between external force, on a body and the acceleration that we have seen. Both the laws, first law and second law. The third law tells what is the origin of external force. What is the origin of external force on a body? External force on a body. This Newton's third law says. This law implies that external force on a body arises always due to some other body. So now we are seeing here what is third law. For example, we press a coiled spring. Say this is the spring. When we press the coiled spring, the spring is compressed like this. Here is the spring, here. For example, we press a coiled spring. A spring को press करिए like this, here in this manner. So it will get compressed. It will get compressed here. It will get compressed by the force of our hand. In turn, what will happen? We are applying a force here in this manner. And the compressed spring also, exert a force on our hand, and we can feel it. As soon as when we compress the spring by our hand, then what happened? The spring get compressed and spring will also exert a force on our hand that we can feel. Is it clear? Yes, sir. So we can feel it. Again, I can say the earth pull stone downward due to gravity, like this here, in this manner. Stone is going downward due to gravity. So we can say, according to Newton, the stone exerts an equal and opposite force on the earth. But what happened? Stone is going down. Still, stone exerts the same force, but we are not noticed, because we do not notice this force as the mass of the earth is too large compared to the mass of the stone. So dear children, what happens here? The effect of the smaller force exerted by stone on motion of the earth is negligible. Is that clear? जैसे ये नीचे जा रहा है due to gravity, it also exerts the same force on earth, but the mass of this stone is very less compared to the mass of the stone. So that force we cannot notice. So dear children, what is there? According to the Newton's third law of motion, according to the Newton's third law of motion, force never occurs singly in nature. इंपॉर्टेंट बात है ये. फोर्स कभी अकेला नहीं लगेगा. फोर्स ऑलवेज अकर्स इन पेयर. फोर्स ऑलवेज अकर्स इन पेयर्स, नॉट डाउन, as a result of mutual interaction between the two bodies, either stone or earth or any other two bodies. Okay, so let us see here. So according to the Newton's law, to every action there is always equal and opposite reaction. There is always equal and opposite reaction. Here the term action means the force exerted by one body to the another body. So I mean to say, dear children, here, how can I explain here? Let us see. Now I can say the term action. Here are the two terms, action and reaction. First term came action. What is that? Here the term action means the force exerted by one body on the another body. This is the one body and this is another body. Force exerted by one body to the another body. While the term reaction means the force exerted by the second body on the first body, like this here. Suppose here is A and here is B. F of AB is the force exerted on body A by the body B. Even I can say this is called action. And F of BA, it is the force exerted on body B by the body A. This is called reaction. Both the force, इसकी वजह से इस पर लगने वाला फोर्स और इसके ऊपर इसकी वजह से लगने वाला फोर्स और इसके ऊपर इसकी वजह से लगने वाला फोर्स, both are equal and opposite. They are called, first is action, then second force from the other body is called reaction. So both the forces F of AB and F of BA are equal but in opposite direction. This is that. So I can prove it. I have to prove this law. How it is, let us see. Now, to prove this, let us consider an isolated system consisting of two bodies A and B. Is that clear? Isolated system means only two bodies are there. No other extra force on these two bodies. A and B moving along the same straight line. Suppose like this. Two bodies A and B are moving along the same straight line. Let them collide so that mutually act and react upon each other when they collide like this. So here is the force exerted by this on this, and at the same time this body also exerts a force on this. So hence their linear momenta will also change when they collide. Their linear momentum is also change. Yes sir. Do you know what is linear momentum? Yes sir. That is mass into velocity. That is mass into velocity. So now here let us say that delta P1 and delta P2 with a change in the linear momentum of a body A and B respectively. When they collide, suppose their linear momentum changes delta P1 and delta P2. So according to the law of conservation of linear momentum, according to the law of conservation of linear momentum, law of conservation of linear momentum, the net change in the linear momentum, the net change in the linear momentum, the net change in the linear momentum, net change in the linear momentum of the system is zero. This we know very well. So I can write here delta of P1 plus delta of P2 is equal to 0. So I can say delta of P1 plus delta of P2 is equal to 0. This is called law of conservation of linear momentum. This is called law of conservation of linear momentum. So I can write, dear children, what is delta of P2? That is equal to delta of P1 here. Dividing this equation by both the sides by delta t, small interval of time, dividing by delta t. So what is that? Delta of P2 divided by delta of t is equal to delta of P1 divided by delta of t here. Dividing both the sides by delta t and taking the limit. Now we are going to take limit delta t tends to 0. Now suppose delta t is tending to 0, taking the limit. Taking the limit here. The limit delta t is tending to 0. Delta P2 divided by delta t. Similarly, limit delta t is tending to 0. Delta of P1 divided by delta t. When time is very small, time interval is very small, I can write this is partial differentiation delta. When limit is taking to 0, so we can write here dp2 by dt is equal to dp1 by dt. That is the perfect differentiation. Okay, so I can say this is the rate of change of linear momentum of a body B is equal to the rate of change of linear momentum of a body A. So what is that? Write down the rate of change of linear momentum. The rate of change of linear momentum of a body B is equal to the rate of change of linear momentum of a body A. Both are equal, but minus sign is there. Here it is a minus sign here, like this. What is that? According to the Newton's second law of motion, rate of change of linear momentum, sir, that is force. So this is the force on B is equal to force on A, but minus sign. So it is F of BA is equal to F of AB, sir. Minus sign, this is. Hence the forces of action and reaction are equal and opposite. Hence, we can say, hence the forces of action and reaction, forces of action and reaction are equal and opposite. Equal and opposite, which proves Newton's third law of motion. Which proves Newton's third law of motion. Okay, so we can say, in conclusion of this Newton's third law of motion, what we have seen? Forces always occurs in pair. Forces always occurs in pairs. Always occurs in pairs. Force on a body A by B is equal and opposite to the force on body B by body A. Both are equal and opposite, like this here. Okay, so we can say forces of action and reaction act always on a two different bodies. Forces of action and reaction, forces, action and reaction, forces, action and reaction act always on different bodies, two different bodies. That is a very important point. Note down. Hence, they never cancel each other. Hence, they never cancel each other. Hence, they never cancel each other. Okay? Yes, sir. Write down. Now, see some examples of Newton's third law of motion. Now, we are going to see some examples of Newton's third law of motion. Illustrations of a Newton's third law of motion. First is walking. While we are walking like this, in this manner, while we are walking, our foot exerts a force on earth in the backward direction. At the same time, earth gives us a force in the forward direction, same force. Due to that force of earth, we can easily walk. Similarly, in the case of swimming, a swimmer pushes the water backward. A swimmer pushes the water backward, that is called action. At the same time, the water pushes the swimmer forward. Water pushes the swimmer forward. So due to this coupling force, action and reaction, the swimmer can swim. Same case in walking. While you are walking, A person presses the ground in the backward direction. Here, when we are walking, so person क्या कर रहा है? What is doing by person? A person presses the ground in the backward direction. That is action. Ground pushes the person in the forward direction. Here, that is called reaction. That is called reaction. Is that clear? So we can easily move. Also firing from a gun. Also firing from a gun. Say this is our gun. Here. When a gun is fired, here a bullet is firing. So when a gun is fired, the bullet moves forward. Bullet moves forward is called action. The gun recoils in the backward direction. Here, write down, these are the examples of Newton's third law of motion. A lot of examples are there. So my dear children, today's module is complete. In the next module, we have to see some examples, some problems, horse and cart problem, or we will see some more problems, apparent weight of man in a lift. So some problem class we have to see in our next module. Okay.